The story of the economic war between China and the United States is one of the most dramatic power struggles in modern history. A geopolitical chess match shaping the future of the world economy. Global technology, military dominance, trade routes, energy security, currencies, and even the daily lives of ordinary people. And to understand who might ultimately win this battle, we must trace the journey of both giants from their rise to their current clash. Because the United States, for the last 100 years, has been the undisputed economic superpower, dominating global finance, global trade, world institutions, and international influence. But China, in just 4 decades, has risen from a poor agricultural nation into the world's manufacturing powerhouse, rapidly building cities, factories, infrastructure, and a global economic network that now challenges U.S. supremacy at every level. And this competition, like the Cold War, does not revolve around ideology alone, but around markets, energy, technology, data, supply chains, and global influence, making it the most complex economic confrontation humanity has ever seen. The United States became a superpower after World War II by leading the creation of institutions like the IMF, World Bank, NATO, and most importantly, the US dollar becoming the world's reserve currency, meaning other nations were forced to trade, save, and borrow in dollars. It's giving America the unique ability to print money without collapsing, allowing the U.S. government to borrow infinite amounts and fund global military bases, large tech companies, and worldwide projects that reinforced its influence. And for decades, no country was strong enough to challenge this. However, China, after opening its economy in 1978 under Deng Xiaoping, used a brilliant strategy: cheap labor, export-driven manufacturing, infrastructure investment, and strict government planning, turning itself into the world's factory, producing everything: phones, electronics, machinery, clothes, steel, cars, and now even advanced technologies like 5G, AI chips, electric vehicles, green energy systems, and robotics, causing global dependence on Chinese production. American corporations, in their pursuit of cheap labor and higher profits, outsourced manufacturing to Chinese factories, helping China rise even faster. And by the mid-2000s, the U.S. woke up to a harsh reality. The world's biggest companies, from Apple to Tesla, Walmart to Niagara, relied on Chinese supply chains, while China gained the power to shut them down anytime it wished, giving Beijing enormous leverage. As China's economy exploded, it launched the Belt and Road Initiative, investing in ports, railways, energy pipelines, and digital infrastructure in more than 140 countries, expanding its reach across Asia, Africa, Latin America, and even Europe, building an economic empire that competes directly with American influence. The U.S. responded with trade tariffs, sanctions, tech restrictions, and military alliances in the Indo-Pacific, trying to contain China's spread, especially in areas like the South China Sea, Taiwan, and global semiconductor production, because semiconductors, the tiny chips inside every phone, computer, car, and missile, are the backbone of modern power, and whichever nation controls chip production controls the future. Taiwan produces most of the world's advanced chips, and both China and the U.S. desperately want control over supply, with America restricting China's access to extreme ultraviolet lithography machines. It's hoping to slow down its technological rise, but China continues investing billions into its own chip industry, determined to break dependence on Western technology. Meanwhile, the economic war expanded into data, artificial intelligence, EVs, green energy, cybersecurity, and social media influence, with apps like TikTok becoming symbols of China's soft power, causing Washington to fear foreign control over American data. At the same time, China, Russia, India, and other nations have increased efforts to reduce reliance on the U.S. dollar, forming alternative trade systems like BRICS, oil deals in yuan, and international banking networks, slowly challenging the dollar-dominated global financial order that America has relied on for decades. But despite China's rise, the U.S. still has major strengths: the strongest military, the world's largest network of alliances, the most influential tech giants Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. NVIDIA, the world's top universities, the deepest financial markets, and a culture of innovation powered by immigrants who bring skills and ideas. While China faces internal challenges such as an aging population, high local government debt, a real estate crisis, strict censorship, and dependence on imported energy and food, making its future growth uncertain. Yet China's government has enormous control over its economy and can make long-term decisions much faster than America's political system, allowing China to build infrastructure, high-speed rail, new industries, and global partnerships at lightning speed. The U.S. model is based on freedom, competition, and open markets, which drives innovation but can create inequality and slow political action, while China's centralized model allows rapid execution but can limit personal freedoms and create economic risks if the government miscalculates. As both giants push forward, the world is dividing into two economic spheres: a U.S.-led system based on technology, finance, and democracy, and a China-led system based on manufacturing, infrastructure, and state planning, with developing nations caught in the middle, choosing whichever brings more opportunities. So, who will win the economic war? The truth is that victory will not look like a traditional win, where one nation collapses and the other stands alone. Instead, the outcome will depend on which nation adapts fastest to new challenges: AI dominance, energy independence, global debt, demographic change, and climate technology, and while the U.S. currently leads in finance, military, and advanced technology, China leads in manufacturing, infrastructure, and global trade influence, making the rivalry extremely balanced. Ultimately, the world might not see a clear winner because both economies are deeply interconnected. China needs American consumers and technology, while America needs Chinese manufacturing and exports, and a total separation would cause global chaos, economic collapse, and supply chain breakdowns. Instead, the future may look like a tense coexistence where both nations remain powerful but constantly compete, influence other countries, and reshape global systems, making the economic war less about destroying each other and more about gaining strategic advantage. In the end, the real winner of the China-USA economic war will be whichever nation can innovate faster, maintain stability longer, build global trust, and secure the technologies of the next century. Because the superpower of the future will not be the one with the largest army or the most factories, but the one that controls data, chips, AI, energy, and global financial systems. And as this race intensifies, the world will watch closely, because the outcome will shape everything from global prices to job markets, international relationships, and the future map of world power. And the story of China versus the USA will remain the defining economic drama of the 21st century.